Good everybody. We are doing series or sessions on universal laws. So today we're going to speak about how good things and how bad things will coexist for a positive life. So I want to ask this question: who of you have heard, and you can say in the comment section me, or you can write down in your notes me. Who of you have heard motivational speakers or some kind of speaker say something like 2024 is going to be your best year, 2024 is going to be a good year, 2024 is going to be a great year? Now, I do hope and believe in general 2024 is going to be a good year and a great year for you. And here's the question: is 2024 going to be a good year? Definitely yes. Is 2024 going to be a bad year? Definitely yes. What do I mean by that? I mean, good things are going to happen this year. Bad things are going to happen this year. But how the year turns out at the end of the day, how you can stand at the end of the year and say, in generally this was a good year, or in generally this was a bad year, will all depend on your mindset, will all depend on how you approach it. So today we're going to speak about the law of polarity. The law of polarity. Now, the law of polarity, the best way I can explain it is like a battery. It has two poles. It has a positive pole and it has a negative pole. And the thing about the law of polarity, it says nothing is really positive or negative. It depends on what you do with it. So a battery has a positive and a negative side, but if you decide you want to take the negative side away, the battery is not going to work. So you need the positive, you need the negative to use this battery to generate energy or generate power for you. So you can say another example of the law of polarity is high and low. Is low good? Is high good? Well, if you find somebody standing on a high building, you might be afraid that they're going to jump off. If somebody says I'm in a low place in my life, you will assume that they're not at a good place. So in both instances, because of the way it's phrased, high was bad and low was bad. So one thing about me is I love the winter. Now, one of the reasons I love the winter is if you can look at my hand, I have about 2-3 very, very big mosquito bites on my hand that just happened before I made this video, because we are in the summer. Things like mosquitoes, things like flies, things like ants are just some of the things that I really dislike about the summer. Something very interesting about me: I'm not fond about sunlight on my skin. I like to swim in the summer, I really do, but I normally go swim like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the afternoon when the sun is busy setting. Or also when I go to the ocean, I don't normally go to the beach when the sun is out. I normally go 6 o'clock in the evening when the sun is just setting. For me, that's the best time to swim, because I don't like that heat on my skin. In the winter, okay, so another thing is, like, I don't like heat. Just to say that I struggle to sleep when it's too warm and too hot. And I remember this one evening very recently, I put in one of those machines in my plug that keeps mosquitoes away. And we have something in South Africa called load shedding, where we have 2.5 hours a day, while some cities differ, where we don't have electricity. So I remember this one evening, the electricity went off. So obviously the thing that I plugged in to keep the mosquitoes away was off. So the mosquitoes just bit me for those 2.5 hours, and I thought, like, can winter just come? But for most people that I've met, they love summer. They dislike winter. And when they ask me why do I like winter, well, first of all, I like fashion. I like dressing fashionably in the winter. I can dress jerseys, tops, blazers, scarves, beanies that just makes it look more fashionable. I love that whole look, like that whole dress look I can have in the winter. I love warm pizza by a fireplace with a glass of wine in the winter. I love stuff like jacuzzis and hot tubs. I love hug in the mug. We have something here called hug in the mug. It's almost like a hot chocolate with different flavors that I can have in the winter. You can't really have it in the summer, it's too hot. Garlic snails and brown bread, something that I also love having in the winter. That's why I love winter more than summer. But for most people, they love summer more. And most people I know dislike winter. And normally when I tell people my theory or my approach, why I love winter and why I don't like summer. They say, you make summer sound really evil, and you romanticize winter. So what they're basically saying is the mindset that I have about summer and winter causes me to like winter more, and I'm going to stick to that mindset. But the reality is, this is the same with everything in life. When you look at something, the good and the bad, the way you think about it, the way you evaluate it, the way you see it, will eventually determine whether it's going to work out for good or work out for bad. And there's even a scripture in the Bible that says all things work together for the good to those who love God. It says the good and the bad will work together. So this is what the law of polarity says. It says everything in life has poles. Everything in life has good or bad, but good and bad. But your mindset towards it, the way you view it, the way you see it, will determine what you do with it, and what you do with it will eventually determine whether it will turn out for good or not. And the thing is, many people, when they look at 2024 and they're like, it's going to be this great, amazing, wonderful year, when something bad happens, when something challenging happens, they're negative and they're like, already this happened. And the reality is, good things and bad things are going to happen. And depending on what we do with it will determine whether it's going to turn out good or bad for us. So at Mind Prosperity, we have a slogan. It says, step back. And I love the slogan so much. It's like, I love soccer as well. So you will see, if you see a soccer player taking a penalty shoot, they put the ball down, they take a few steps back, and they aim before they kick. They will never get the penalty if they just put the ball down and kick. If they don't take a step back and aim, the goalie will stop the ball, I believe, most of the times. So this is the idea that we have to do. When something happens in life, we have to take a step back. We have to evaluate. We have to aim before we decide what to do with it. This is how we're going to make the law of polarity work very well. Jimmy Dean said, I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to reach my destination. So you're not always in control of what happens this year, or what happens to you in life, the good and the bad, but adjusting your sails is like adjusting your mindset. It's like taking that step back and saying, by taking the step back, I'm going to make sure that this eventually works out for good, and it will fuel me in my destiny, in my destination where I want to go. Napoleon Hill said, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal and greater benefit. Meaning, if something is really, really bad, if you handle it right, it can turn out to be really, really good. You will see some of the people who became extremely successful in life. Sometimes it's some of their greatest failures, some of their greatest heartaches, some of their most terrible circumstances that fueled them to become so successful. And this is what Napoleon Hill is trying to say to us. I want to give you one more idea. Before I do that, I just want to say I have this training material that I'm doing called the 12 Universal Laws. And these universal laws, I'm teaching in a way to teach you how it will propel you into success. Now, the law of polarity is one of them, and there's a lot of extra things in the book that is not in this video. So if you are interested in doing this training course with me, please send me an email at albert at mindprosperity.co.za, or you can send me a WhatsApp if you have that at 072 508 4689. So the last thought I want to give to you is something that Charles Swindoll said. He said, life is 10% what happens to us and 90% of how we react to it. So the idea that this is going to be a good or a bad year, a good or a bad life, 10% of it will be determined by what happens, and 90% is that step back, looking, adjusting your mindset. And if you can get into that space where you know how to step back, you know how to evaluate. Now there's a fly here. You see, this is why I don't like summer. And I sprayed a lot of things to keep the bugs away. If you can take that step back, evaluate, decide, have a good attitude about it, then 90% of your life will be determined by how you react to it. Thank you so much for watching. I want to ask, if you enjoyed this video, please like, please subscribe to our channel. We are trusting to go to 1,000 subscribers. And if you believe this information can help other people, please send it on. Looking forward to hearing from you. And from Mind Prosperity, we love you. We'll see you in our next video. Our next video is going to be an interview with Megan Carmay again about one of the laws. So looking forward to having to have you being a part of that. See you guys soon again. Goodbye.